Alright YouTube, what's going on? Today I'm here in Nevada. I'm on the way to Virginia City. We are going to the Washoe Club. Now if you're a paranormal investigator, you need no introductory to what the Washoe Club is. But if you don't, this is it.
During the days when Nevada's Comstock Lode was turning miners into millionaires, the Washoe Club in Virginia City, Nevada was created as a place of luxury. The building was home to one of the finest libraries east of San Francisco, an elegant billiard room, a parlor decorated with Italian marble, and bronze statues. The membership included 50 millionaires known all over the world. The Washoe Club opened June 1st, 1875. Sadly, though, just 5 months later, it was consumed by a fire that destroyed much of Virginia City. Many of the members stopped paying their dues, which made it impossible to find a new home for the club. Unfortunately, by the time the Washoe Club was restored, production at the mine had drastically fallen off. In 1881, a disastrous mine fire curbed production further and damaged the ability of the Washoe Club members to remain at the luxurious club. The building that houses the club, of course, survives and has since been renamed the Washoe Club, as a reminder of the old days. A number of ghostly stories and first-hand accounts surround this place, just like this.
77 bodies stacked in 1874. The reason they had to do that is because during our winters, the soils freeze like concrete, meaning you can't actually dig through them by hand. So they had to store dead somewhere. So this is one of the spots they had to do it back then. In this place, 77 bodies in 1874. I mean, you can just imagine how tall that pile would be.
Yeah.
They'd get the bodies in here by wheeling them in through the front of the building on a wood gurney. When that pile became too tall, there's a platform right there that when we go upstairs, I'll show you can look off of as well. They would take the net up there and drop them from that into here. Personal experiences I always hear, usually sometimes footsteps bumping around upstairs. I've had people catch stuff up here, like looking down at them. I've had rocks thrown at me in here every now and again. So I've been grabbed in this place. The weirdest one, and it's real rare, but I've had it happen a couple times, it sounds like a woman being murdered, like screaming. And like the first time I heard it, we were closing the bar down, came back here, just to make sure no one was going to get locked back here. And I checked, no one was in here, went halfway across the museum, and I heard what sounded like a woman like being murdered in here, like just, like screaming. I like didn't even turn around. I was like, I know nobody's back there, I'm not going to look because I'm going to see something I don't want to see. I'm out of here. So that was a weird one for me with this. Overnight here, and her and her friend were sitting with their backs against the crypt door. Everyone else was sleeping, and this shadow thing, like a man, came out and like went to every person and like stared down at them, and then all of a sudden I looked up at her and her friend while they were sitting against the door, and then it was gone. I was like, dude, that would scare the shit out of me. This female's bathroom right here is notorious for being haunted. Just so you know.
Good.
Great. I go in there and come back out and say, I was in there, I saw like somebody walk in and I blinked and they were gone. There was nobody there. And so they hear voices and shit. This staircase, you cannot go up.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You will fall through it. It is super
that
old. It was
yeah.
built between 1875 and 6. And this is one of 2 freestanding spiral staircases left in the entire world. What we mean by freestanding is it's attached right here at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's attached above us at the top. But where that little notch is, you see that?
Yeah.
From that notch all the way down to right here, the staircase is floating. There's nothing that supports it.
All right, yeah.
So it's real cool. Now Lena is a lady who's all murdered on the 3rd floor. When we go up there, I'll show you all that.
Okay.
She's notorious for manifesting in here. She has a bluish coloration, which is what like everyone associates with her. And I've even had people take videos and up towards like that section of the staircase at the top. They've seen like stuff like look at them and it's gone. I had someone capture what looks like a man coming down this thing, like old clothing. You'll hear footsteps walking around up on that little walkway up around it and stuff. So that's real cool. Common things to look for with Lena is stuff like this. So it's that blue like wisp. That's the most common way that she'll manifest on that staircase.
Gotcha.
And then people capture that 1 to 3 times per week. I mean, it's super common. This is her as a full body thing.
Oh wow, yeah.
So you can see how it has that blue color.
Yeah.
That's her hair.
Here,
This is
let me
the collar
see if I can
of
turn
her
the light off
dress.
so that way. Hold on.
And then right here is what looks like a 4-leaf clover necklace. That's where it'd be attached to a necklace chain.
Yeah.
This is the waistline. Her left hip outline right here. The
Yeah.
right one is faint, but you can kind of see the discoloration in here.
Her stepping up, yeah.
Yeah, this is the fabric of her dress too, and then that's her foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes, and you can see the tendons and knuckles.
Oh wow. Yeah, you can.
Isn't that sick?
That's wild.
What?
Tell me that's not. Whoa.
So it's flipping dope. I'll show you the best picture of Lena. This is a picture of the mirror that's by that spiral staircase. There's something right there. So if I zoom in on that,
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah.
There's a structure, eye socket, it's blue, and you can see the hair.
Yeah.
So look out for something like that too.
That's wild.
That's creepy.
And that was on the staircase?
Yeah, that was literally on a tour, took a picture, and you can see that it just shows up right there because that door was open, like she's like looking into the doorway at you.
Peeking.
My coworkers and I tried debunking that for over 2 hours and we couldn't do it. We could not replicate that image.
That's crazy.
Is that not fucking wild?
That's wild.
And then the way this door sticks, so you just have to be rough when you open and close it.
Okay.
When you're done with your investigation, just lock the bottom door out.
Okay.
That's all I gotta do. Boom. And we are inside the Washoe Club. This is the library section of the building. I've personally never had any weird experiences here. So, like, some cool backstory. The place was built in 1862. The whole second story was used as retail space, a doctor's office, and a library. The whole third story, that was a boarding house for the miners. Most affluent miners in the entire United States, and the highest paid as well. They were only paid $4 a day. Everywhere else, average miner pay was only 80 cents per day.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool pay increase. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because the mining tunnels below our feet, which we have 750 plus miles of those, extremely unsafe. Fires, cave-ins, explosions, poison gas, cyanide, arsenic, dead air, extremely hot water that'll cause third-degree burns, and working temperatures on average of over 140 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
a lot of people
cool.
were getting injured and killed down there, so they were getting paid a lot of money because of all the hazards and stuff. Then in 1875, the Millionaires Club bought this building, and then they occupied this place until about 1898. They were the richest of the rich. President Grant, the author Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens, Adolph Sutro, Thomas Edison, so on and so forth. And then the building went dormant or unoccupied until like the mid to late 20s, and then from then on to 1984, it was used as a hotel, a $20 per week hotel. I want those rates back. So through this doorway though, you can actually see down into the crypt from this section right here.
Oh, okay.
So if you can stand right there on that wood, you can look through those slats down inside the crypt space, which is actually pretty cool. So you can see how high up you just went.
Yeah, so if you're throwing a body off of that, like every bone in that person's body, even though they're dead, is breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's terrible.
They just didn't care back then. They're just like,
Yeah, we got money, we got gold.
yeah. It's just so funny. What else is really cool? Yeah, for me, this whole section of the building, I haven't really had much ever happen to me. So I'm not going to speak. Other people may have. I personally haven't. There's a mannequin here.
Yeah.
Don't let him scare you. There's another mannequin.
What's up, buddy?
That's right here in this room. Don't let him scare you. We call that one Geronimo. This is Willie Nelson. So don't let Willie scare you.
Willie Nelson!
This room is known as the Shadow Man room. Ghost
Okay.
Adventures, when they were here in 2009, captured a shadow person show up against this wall. And we actually got a picture of one 7-ish months ago. And he showed up on this window frame. And that's what he looks like.
Oh, yeah.
His arms, legs, he's holding something in his hat.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So he was caught right here about 7 months ago during one of my tours. So this room is really notorious for that. People sometimes see a thing go up and down the stairs when they're in this room as well. Keep warning, there is a doppelganger, from what I've been told, of myself in here, but it's not me. So if for whatever reason you see me going up and I'm not engaging with you guys, it's not me. Because you can see how engaging I am.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to walk around the building and be like, well, I'm going to scare you. No. I bet people literally do. We saw you go up the stairs, and so I'll have some of my tours go to the 3rd floor as we're going to the ballroom.
Yeah.
So I come back and I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, we followed you up here. And how'd you get down there? I'm like, I've been down here. What are you talking about? Just weird. I've heard disembodied voices and footsteps throughout this whole hallway. These rooms are locked. They're antique storages, so just don't worry about those.
Okay.
But I've heard people say that they've heard what sounds like a person rummaging in there. And this is the only way you can get in it. And it's locked.
It's locked, yeah.
Yeah, so you can't get in there. We experienced that. I haven't really had much happen in these rooms. Make sure you watch yourself here. I personally experienced the rummage.
Perfume, though. I just smelt that. I've read and heard
There you
about
go.
that.
Perfume
I just totally smelt that.
Perfume and cigars.
Yeah, cigars is the other one. That's
Yeah,
wild.
real common. Watch your step right here, guys.
Okay.
I've heard what sounded like someone was rummaging in here, and there were footsteps, and you could feel the vibration through the floor, like somebody was in there. You can't get in there. It's
Yeah.
locked. So that was real interesting, to say the least. These 2 rooms, I have had nothing happen to me at all, nor have I had one in this weird intermediary room. This is the ballroom.
Yeah, this is where Nick caught that apparition.
This is where they started back in 04, was walking.
Yeah.
So that X right there is to mark where their night vision camera was going to be placed.
Oh, that's their actual one that they put down?
And it was pointing right in the windows.
Yeah.
As they filmed that, they showed up right where this X is roughly, and it was caught blocking into that doorway for 7 seconds.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I mean, that is fantastic footage. So that one was pretty cool. Back in the 1800s, 1860s until 1875, so 62 to 75, this was not a ballroom, this was a doctor's office.
Yeah.
And in October 20th, 1864, there was a 10-year-old little girl by the name of Gretchen who got run over out front by a carriage. Well, she didn't die right away, so they brought her up here and to the doctor's office, but they couldn't save her. She passed away like 3.5 hours after that accident. And I've had people take pictures through that doorway and capture what looks like a little shadow girl. And I want to say about 3.5 months ago, I had a guy take a picture from that doorway, and he captured a full entity. It's not the little girl. We don't know who this is, but this one's pretty cool.
Oh, what?
Check that out. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it does, like an old doctor or something.
It's a really cool.
And that was right here?
Yeah, it was like right there looking into the poker room.
Watching us. Yeah.
This mirror is pretty cool. It's original to the building. You can see how it's sparkling. It's
Yeah.
what they call a diamond dust mirror. So it's made out of pure silver with mercury back in it. So just don't touch the glass because I don't want you guys getting sick. But isn't that pretty?
Yeah, you can't see it on camera, but that's crazy.
So hard to pick
Yeah.
up. It like almost it sparkles like snow or something.
Yeah, it does. Let me see if I zoom in if it'll do anything. Come on.
It's so cool. Those are extremely rare and stuff. We have 3 of those in this building. That one upstairs.
Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it.
Hell yeah. And then the one at the bar in the big center mirror, that's made out of this too. It's real cool. But yeah, it's pure silver with mercury behind it.
That's crazy.
That's sparkle. That's really cool. I've heard footsteps above me in this room. I've heard sometimes like yelling coming from in here, which is weird. Other than that, that's all I've had happen in here, really. I've been grabbed in this room.
But people still catch apparitions in here, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
One time, watch your step right here.
I'll set up a camera in here then.
You should. This area for me is real active. I've had footsteps, apparitions, whistling, talking. I've been grabbed. I've had stuff shift on me, like crazy stuff.
Here's the poker room.
Yeah, this is the poker room.
We brought cards that we'll be playing tonight.
Dude, fuck yeah. So any chair in the building with this red cushion, or that looks like either one of these, you can sit in those.
Okay.
So feel free to use those. Just don't sit on the old couches and stuff, because I mean, they're over 110 years old.
Yeah, no, I don't want to break nothing.
But these, and you can move, like, I have them throughout the building, but if you want to sit in, like, a different room, just you can move these around a little bit. The ballroom, the benches that are in there, you can use those. So they're not antique, so use the benches as much as you want to. I play ragtime music in the ballroom all the time and get really strong EMF hits and all this cool stuff.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. This one, K2 meters I've had go bonkers at. This is the original 1875 poker table for the Millionaires Club too, so it's real cool. One of my old co-workers said that they put playing cards out here like a display, left came back and the cards were thrown down the staircase. So I was like, that's pretty cool. I've had, there was a picture on my old phone. Someone was standing over there, took a picture. I was standing about right here, kind of like this, talking to my tour group. Nobody was at that side or this side. And on the other side of that window, a figure showed up.
There's nothing in there that you can, yeah.
It's locked from every single one of the stores. And I showed it to a few of the locals up here. And they're like, well, that's Greg. And I was like, huh? And they go, that's Greg. And they were like, how do you get back there? Because it's been locked. Well, I was like, you won't believe this, boys. And they're like, what? I go, Greg died in June of this year. The picture was taken in July. Almost a month of the day that poor man passed. He actually lived in this apartment building right here.
That's wild.
So I was like, well, that's a little interesting to have Greg show up right next to me. Like, nah, no, I don't like that. No, and that's about all I've had in the poker room. This room, like I said, the footsteps are real common through this one.
Through the whole building, I've heard.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I've had people visibly see orbs in that. That used to be a liquor storage cigar room and stuff. And if you look above you, there's wallpaper still on the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
That's cool, huh?
Yeah. That's old. Wow.
Heck yeah, so I've had people visibly actually see orbs come, like, with their naked eyes in this one, which is real cool.
And the battery's already dead. What the
Yep, welcome to my office, brother. They will suck the power out of your stuff. You got hit by that quarter?
Yeah.
Or something? It's actually
We just watched that on the way over here.
It's somewhere under those floorboards. I found it one day and I don't remember which crack it's under. But
Oh, they didn't take it with them?
No, it's under one of those floorboards.
No shit.
Actually. So we found one. It's pretty cool.
2015, that's when Debbie and Mark passed away, yeah.
Yep, unfortunately. There was one time I was coming down these stairs and I had a tour group with me. And I think it was right about here. And as I'm going down, all of a sudden back towards like the library, we all heard a little boy go, whoa, hey, who's that? Who's there? Loud. And I stopped and I'm all leaning over the rail. I'm like, hello? And everyone else was like, who is that? And I was like, does everyone have their kids? I was like, it sounds like a little boy like got lost back there. So I was like, you guys just go down, I'll go back there. Nobody was back there. But it was loud. Whoa, hey, who's that? Who's there? And I was like, what? I was like, whoa, crazy. That was a real cool one. Real cool.
The whole building's cool.
Oh, it's so neat. And there is no electricity up here either, except for like 3 exit signs that are powered and 1 power cable up on the second and third stories.
We're gonna walk through with the EMF detector and just get a baseline reading.
So dark up here, brother. It's crazy. This is one of my favorite rooms to do investigations in, hands down. This is Scotty's room. Scotty was a former Washoe Club bartender who lived here from 1970 until 82. And he lived here with his 16-year-old son. Well, in 1979, his son and his 14-year-old friend went 3 miles in that direction to play over Silver City. And while they were playing, they went over one of the hills and fell into a 1,200-foot deep ventilation shaft. Killed those kids. Scotty, understandably, pretty upset. He was so upset that on June 2nd of 1982, he couldn't live without his kid anymore. He got off work, came up here to his bedroom, pulled a gun out, and shot himself. He haunts this place awesomely. I tell everyone, just be respectful to this entity. That's sad. He's heartbroken, tragic. I'll play you guys a cool video clip that I caught up here with the YouTube group when I was here. I think when they were here 10 months ago. We had an Ovilus and a REM pod, and the REM pod started going crazy, and the Ovilus said, "Depression, help me." And I was like, "Depression, help me? I think Scotty might be up here right now." So then they turned their cameras on and they started recording. Then their YouTube channel is Twisted Habits. I don't want to, not see the channel and play their stuff.
Yeah, they're good.
Shout out. And right at the end of it, it says 1,200.
Whoever wants to talk, our DMs are always open. We respond to everyone.
So in order that it said, depression helped me 1,200, that all correlates with Scotty. He was depressed for the first few years after his son's death, and he wanted help to get through that grieving process, which he never received. So he committed suicide because his son died in a 1,200-foot deep ventilation shaft.
Oh, 1,200.
Isn't that awesome evidence right there?
That's wild.
That is sick. I've heard footsteps in here. We've heard a man's voice, and it almost sounds like he's like in pain. So I don't know if he's trapped here, and I don't know if the help me is...
I don't know if it means... I just got this camera, but it just said infant all of a sudden as you were talking about his son.
That's weird. That's cool. That's cool.
It normally look like right here. If I move it around, it'll like say like portrait or something else like when it changes. And it said infant.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's wild.
But like I'm on the
see how it says portrait? Nah, it just went away again. Let's see if we can. Like stand still. It'll say portrait. Okay, and it said infant. I've never seen that before.
It's sick. But for me, like the little girl who was killed in this room in 1873, there was an explosion next door and it killed her. She was 8 years old. She haunts this place. I've heard a little girl giggle in this room. We used to have a bunch of toys in here, and I would find the toys thrown all over the floor. Toys from here would end up between the stairs, the ballroom, the crypt area, all over the place. So her name was Ella. She's still pretty active. So Scotty or Ella in this section, consistent. Consistent in my experiences.
Nice.
Moving this way, I've had some people capture shadow people walking down on that side of the building. I had a guy see a full-bodied apparition thing come around this corner during a tour, scared the bejesus out of the poor guy. This is the old music room. That little thing in the chair is Winifred the Doll.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
She rocks by herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are picking that shit. Very cool people. I really don't like Winifred. I've seen her rock way too many times, to be honest with you. And it really... I don't like that. Dolls shouldn't do that. And I draw the line with the Rocky Doll thing. And she does rock, hard from time to time. Sometimes it's real fast. Sometimes, it is just solid. Like, just going. And I actually have a picture, I believe, that someone captured of whatever's attached to her manifest. Yeah.
It's right Betty, isn't it her name? They say that there's a spirit attached named Betty or something. I forget.
All I know is we did a spirit box up here, because we used to call her Annabelle. And me and my buddies were up here, and one of my friends was like, "Can I take the doll home?" And this little girl voice came through, and it said, "No." And then we were like, "Oh, we're so sorry, we're just joking. What's the doll's name?" And that same voice, to get on a spirit box, which is rare, cut through again, and it said, "Winifred." We were like, "Oh, so it's Winifred the Doll. No wonder why you're so creepy. You just do your own thing." But this right here is a picture of something attached to her manifesting out of it.
Oh, wow.
You can see that the lath and plaster are level.
Yeah,
so it's
everything's
not
level.
like this,
the thing's not moving.
And it's coming up. You can see the motion of it. Wow. That's cool. That's cool. Usually when she rocks, like I said, it's real fast. So most of the time it'll be like something like this. And I wish I had my old phone because I had a video of it.
All right. Well, I got a question. Will it do it only in darkness, or if it's exposed light, daylight?
Day or night.
Okay.
That's so. People naturally fear the dark. It's a natural human. That's how we have evolved.
Right.
That's why Hollywood makes like scary movies, even if they're filmed in like a day scene. It's all very dark, exposed, because you fear that. It adds that like creepy element. It plays on your natural evolution instinct. From my experience, stuff is day and night, and that's I tell people when I die, I'm not gonna change my sleep schedule. I sleep usually at night. When I pass, well, I'm gonna 180 that. Now I'm gonna be up in the day messing with people.
It could be a different world, so like, maybe it's the opposite.
Yeah,
you know?
never know. You never know. But
they're up when we're at night, and they're up sleeping during the day. Who knows?
You never know. It's all weird.
Yeah.
But as for me, it's day or night. Stuff happens consistently. Like it's daytime and you smell perfume.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so it's,
that was crazy.
So it's cool, but a lot of people like the ghost shows and movies and stuff. They make it dark just to play on your emotions.
Right.
Like, no, it's day or night, man, and it's all the time.
Right.
I've only had a couple days up here where it's been nothing.
Well, I was reading a book. They were talking about how the main reason they do it at night is because they might be able to catch something in a different spectrum of light, and so that's why they use infrared, night vision like we got and stuff. So.
Very possible. That's most of my clips and stuff come from the daytime.
Oh wow!
It's pretty cool.
Look at this.
If you want, this is a cool view, so you might want to film that.
Yeah.
This is the only spot in town you can have both churches, the Sugarloaf Mountain and the 100-mile view in the same shot, and that sunset is beautiful behind the church.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just dope.
Get a little of that. You got the boardwalk down there. This is sick.
Isn't that awesome? This is a cool spot. So there was a woman murdered in this room in the mid-1880s. Her name was Lena. She was the lady of the night. The way she was murdered was she had her throat slit so severely when they found her body, she was almost decapitated. That's brutal. They did not find the man who took her life, so we think that she still haunts this place because she did not receive closure. And we also think she was murdered wearing blue, because she'll show up on the first, second, or third story. This is the one that I showed you on the staircase.
Yeah, the blue.
And it's always that blue colored thingamajig. We have a picture of her captured a couple years ago from across the street looking back at this building. And in the room below this one, looking out of the windows, let me turn my light filter off, is who we believe to be Lena. Go like this. Check that out. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
On my old phone, I had to re-download these off of Messenger, so the quality's not as good as they
Yeah,
used
well,
to
you
be.
can, when I zoom out, kind of, it seems a little better.
But the
like
quality on my
it.
old one, you could see the hair. You could almost see like
no,
her
you
eye
see the hair
structure
there.
and the nose, and you could see like her hair actually has like a brunette kind of tone to it, and then you could see like she has like a little white undershirt with the front, like the ruffly collar and like this blue long dress, and you can see her figure, and it matches. Because I went downstairs one day and held it up to the full body thing coming down. Perfect match. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I haven't really had much happen in here. That transom window actually opened on one of my tours by itself.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, it was locked shut like the other one. And it was me and a few of our good friends up here. And we're all skeptical. I mean, you have to be. And we're all sitting here talking. And usually if a transom window goes to slip open, it's super, super, super slow. And then it'll pick up speed because that weight transfers. No, it was full closed, full open. I mean, instant.
Like
all of us
slammed
saw it.
shut or
yeah,
something.
We're just like, I was like, well, I guess they wanted that open. And that thing is so high up there. I'm 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
And I can't manipulate that thing at all. So I'm like, yeah, if they wanted it open, they can leave it open. If they want it shut, they can shut it.
Yeah, that's on them.
Yes. They're opening it. They can do their own thing.
Do what they need to.
This bed right here is about 150 years
What's up,
old.
buddy?
Super, super old. Pretty cool. This room right here, or this hallway, there's a mannequin sitting here, so don't let him steer you guys. he gets me all the time.
Yeah, I can already imagine.
This is the room with the door that shuts on its own. That one. That thing was actually shut earlier on one of my tours, which is pretty cool. This is also known as the red room because of the red paint and stuff like that. Now, this door should not shut on its own. Those windows over there are shut, so if it gets windy, there's not enough wind that comes through here to pull it closed.
Okay.
You can stomp your foot next to it. It doesn't move.
No, it's not moving.
If you pull it off the wall and that gravity and the angle of the building do its thing,
Not moving,
this
really.
doesn't shut hard enough to break an 1 3/4 thick solid wood door.
No. It broke the door.
The thing shuts it so hard up here, it sounds like a 12 gauge gets fired off up here.
Oh, wow.
And you can see it actually splitting right here.
Oh, yeah.
And this is very similar to if you were to kick a door underneath the doorknob, the kinetic transfer of force goes through this way and it starts to
blow out. Yeah.
So it's like something up here kicks this thing shut. I've had it slam during tours. I had it slam, well, today. Ghost Adventures, people like yourselves, even up here filming, have captured it shutting on its own. I mean, it's crazy. There was one night we were up here and we had a REM pod right here, and then we had another REM pod in that far doorway. And we could hear footsteps come down, get real close to this REM pod, and it would start like a real light hit. And then all of a sudden, be like, come closer, come on, like, we're not gonna hurt you. And the footsteps would go back around, and then that one would start going off, and this one would shut off. It was like going back and forth. And I wish I had my old phone, dude, because it was so cool. And then that REM pod just started going super solid. My buddy took 2 pictures. The first one, nothing above it. Second one, huge orb streak above the REM pod. And I was like, hey, if that's you, can you stop that for a second? Shut off. I was like, cool. And we're like laughing. We're like, whoa, it's intelligent. Like, that's so cool. And I was like, thank you. Kick back on. I was like, are you mocking me now? Like, really?
See, I've used a REM pod a couple of times. I've gone to a couple of cemeteries before, and it does not go off. Like, it'll do the temperature a little bit, but like the actual touching it, never.
Love them up here.
So that'll be, if it goes off, then that's like a for sure spirit.
Dude, it is awesome.
Does not, like, you've been with me, it does not go off,
And then I have an EVP that my former coworker captured up here in this room of the thing here telling him to shut the door. So you'll hear him say a lady's voice now, and then he pauses, and then he goes back into talking. But you gotta listen careful to that little pause.
And we were doing an EVP session, and we got a ghost that came through, a lady's voice now, and she said...
You hear that? Shut the door.
And we were doing an EVP session, and we got a ghost that came through, a lady's voice now, and she said...
Yeah, cool? So you never know what you're gonna get. I've done...
Yo, that's wild.
I've had screams, cuss. The funny ones are curses. I've had an all-female group come up here to do investigations. They always get the funniest EVPs. It's always them getting cussed out nonstop. It's the greatest thing. Excuse me. Growling, hissing, laughing, crying, disembodied music, the music box thing. The music is too. It's like a ragtime piano or it's like an old music box. Those are real cool to pick up. The footsteps and all that weird stuff. I mean, the 3rd floor is the notoriously more haunted one.
Okay.
Forewarning, this room does harbor something dark of a non-human type base, I guess we'd say. I don't talk about it in the building. Just know that don't do dark stuff up here, because when it gets active, all the good stuff stops, and this thing crawls. It doesn't walk, it crawls, and it goes up the walls. It scratches people. It's bad. It's finally gone dormant because I quit talking about it on tours and stuff, but when it attacks people, it's like this.
Oh, yeah.
3 scratches, that's a bad sign. And then supposedly the scratches underneath it are an ancient symbolism for the word hell. So, it's creepy. Creepy. So, be careful with that thing.
Okay.
But don't get that dark thing amped up, or else, like I said, you won't get anything, but it'll just be not fun. You'll just, most of the time, it doesn't show itself. It just makes you feel so sick that you can't be up here. And stuff, and you'll smell sulfur.
Okay.
So that might start cueing you into what it might be. And stuff. Other than that, that's pretty much the whole thing.
Alright, YouTube, so that was the Washoe Club intro. We're gonna go get some food real quick, and then we're gonna get the investigation on the way. Before we leave, I'm gonna go set something upstairs. I'm gonna set a GoPro upstairs where apparitions are seen, and we're gonna go get food so that way if anything happens while we're gone, or anything in general, we can hear and see hopefully some stuff. Stay tuned.